see, the other thing is that if you
All right, hello everybody, welcome to another live coding session. I'm here after quite a big delay. I promised I will be back sooner, but well, it didn't work out so far, so I'm back now. And today I would like to start by looking into the new things in UNO Platform 4.6, which was released last week, which is quite a huge release. And even though it wasn't that much advertised, it has a lot of cool features that are worth mentioning. So let's dive right into those. So the first and biggest thing in UNO Platform 4.6 is of course support for .NET 7 and Visual Studio 17.4. So this is a huge milestone because it brings all the goodness of .NET 7 RC to UNO Platform, and you can leverage that to get performance boost immediately without having to make any code changes. And it brings us a lot of promising improvements that we can then leverage also in the core code base of UNO Platform that will then improve the performance of all the applications that are using UNO, which is great. So one of the most important things there is that .NET 7 brings a lot of improvements to WebAssembly, and that includes multi-threading, and also these new JS import and JS export APIs, which will improve performance of WebAssembly applications significantly. And now that we have support for .NET 7, we'll be able to use those APIs in UNO Platform Core to actually improve the performance of existing WebAssembly code, which will be very, very interesting and very, very useful. So let me just kill this for now. Where is this? Okay. Let me turn this off. real quick. So toggle. Okay. Just end this for now. All right. So that's from .NET 7. But there are many other things like library assets, which is a very cool thing, which will allow including content assets from external libraries in UNO Platform applications. This is a very important feature actually, because we are planning to add support for external fonts, where we will be able to provide, for example, the UNO Platform icon font, which is used in UNO Platform applications for symbols and like iconography in UNO Platform applications. This will allow us to take the font itself, the TTF files, and take them to an external library that can be then referenced as a NuGet package and can be externally updated. So it means that we can make improvements to the icon font, and you will always have the latest version just by upgrading that NuGet package. And also it means that the font will no longer have to be included as an actual TTF file in the UNO Platform application template. It can be external, so it means that it will significantly decrease the size of the initial layout of the solution when you push it into Git. So that's very nice and useful. So this will come in the next release, I pretty hope. And next up there is SVG, which took me quite a while to get right, but hopefully now it's working everywhere properly. And the goal of this is to support SVG graphic, SVG vector-based image format in all the targets of UNO Platform. So with UNO 4.6, it's now supported everywhere. You just reference these UNO WinUI SVG or UNO UI SVG packages, and SkiaSharp use UNO WinUI. And once you do it, then you can normally use SVG images inside of image elements in any UNO Platform application, and it will just work. So the goal is to have this completely transparent, to make it feel like the normal UWP SVG development experience. So you just use SVGs and it will work everywhere. And the fun thing is that currently the support of SVGs in UNO Platform targets is actually better than in WinUI or UWP, where in many cases SVGs are not displayed correctly because it does not support many of the features of SVG, like CSS styling and so on. So this is quite important, that like we're future-proofing this, and it will work pretty well even before Microsoft has actually improved SVG support in WinUI. So this is pretty nice, worth trying out. I think we can try it out in samples application. Let me load that, should be fine. And in the meantime, let's look at some other things like Android 13, because we have added support for targeting Android 13 in UNO Platform, so you can now target Android 13. And while doing that, we also removed support for the Android 11 SDK, which is now not supported officially. But it doesn't mean that you cannot build all the applications for all the versions for Android. Actually, UNO still supports all the versions up to Android 5.0. So you can still support all the versions, just targeting the newer SDK, which is always a good choice. All right. So yeah, one more thing here is the WebAssembly Bootstrapper 7.0, which brings support for hosting .NET 7 applications. But it has a very interesting and useful feature as well, that it allows hosting WebAssembly applications under ASP.NET Core project. So you can take take an existing ASP.NET Core application and host, or the ASP.NET Core API, and host a WebAssembly application in the same project, which is greatly useful. And it allows for some interesting scenarios, like here using the ASP.NET Core hosting to surface a Uno Platform WebAssembly application inside of Microsoft Teams, which is kind of an experiment that I tried. This is currently quite limited, unfortunately, because the Electron application on the desktop does not really support embedding WebAssembly applications for some reason. We're trying to resolve this with Microsoft, and hopefully there will be a way to fix this. But currently, embedding the Uno Platform WebAssembly application works only in the browser version of Microsoft Teams. So yeah, this was quite a big release. There are many other notable changes and many contributions from the community, especially because we had also Hacktoberfest, which was a great event this year, and we had lots of contributions from external contributors, which is great. And the main part of those contributions went into Uno Platform Gallery, which is now greatly improved with many new features and many new samples. So if you browse that, you can see that there are now samples for things like Relative Panel, which is now newly implemented and ported from WinUI. There is two-pane view. There are things like refresh container. Yeah, so you can refresh things. There is also there are especially many non-UI features. These are all new. So there are examples to how to use accelerometer, clipboard APIs, email manager for composing emails, so you can write to someone, then compose that message. It will launch your default email client. There are local settings, light sensor, so you can see the illuminance in your room. Or there is flashlight, also there is geolocator to see the GPS coordinates and so on. There's a lot of new samples. And the great thing is that it's all in the Uno Gallery now. So you can test not only the UI features, but also the non-UI features, which is a fun thing and makes for a more consistent and more unified sample application. So I'm really looking forward to some future contributions here as well, because this is not definitely done, because we have a lot of other APIs to fill out. And if you go to Uno Gallery, you can see for yourself there is still 52 different issues, and many of those issues are specifically for non-UI APIs, so like MIDI and LAMP. Some are actually not closed. This should be closed now because it's merged, so let's close it. All right. So there are things like contact picker and speech recognizer and so on. So there's quite a few APIs that are still to be added. And so when it's done, then the gallery will be quite comprehensive showcase of all the features that Uno Platform can provide you. All right, so let's see if the Uno Samples application can show us some SVGs. Let's see SVG. So, okay, maybe this is some older version which does not have the SVG samples. Let's see, in image. I see, this seems to be some older version. There is no SVG samples in this one. Well, if you try it out, there is like quite a nice documentation, hopefully. I wrote it and I'm not sure if it's complete, but hopefully it is. So in this, Uno Platform docs, you can find using SVG images, and there is all the details, including how to use it by platform, and also how to use rasterization, because you can either display the SVG file as a vector-based format, which will always resize and be always crisp, or to improve performance, you can use the rasterization support, where you let the SVG rasterize to a given size, and then it will be scaled as a normal bitmap image. So there are these two options that you can use. All right, so let's close this up and let's go do some coding. So I have a few things that I want to finish up here. So let's jump right into it. So I'll switch here to platform. So here is quite an old PR that I have open, samples frame wrap, which is a PR that attempts to wrap the sample pages in Uno sample application as children of a frame, which is quite useful because the samples in WinUI are using frame navigation quite often. So this would make porting the WinUI UI tests much easier. But this is now failing, so I need to conditionally disable this in some samples which actually require having support for, well, having the page directly, not as part of a frame. So I will actually jump here, switch to this, and let's see. I will target .NET Standard to make things simpler. All right, and here, directory build props. I will just disable the Roslyn source generators so I get better performance in Visual Studio, because I will not be even compiling this. I will just be disabling some of the samples. Well, not disabling them, but disabling the frame wrapping there. So let's see. Yeah, so I added this uses frame property into the attributes, which allows you to specify that the specific sample should not be wrapped in a frame. And by default it's set to true, so all the samples by default are wrapped. But for some cases, well, I want to turn this off. And specifically, this one, which is buggy because of the fact that it's wrapped in the frame, because the fact that it's in the frame causes some additional padding that is not expected. So I will actually fix this here. So this is Uno Windows UI. Okay. Oh, so this is in the UI tests. Well, I will just revert this file basically. So it's samples app, Windows UI tests, media, geometry tests, close figure page. All right, so close figure page, it should be findable here. So here in a close figure page sample. Oh, let me just close everything except for our close all. Okay, so close all by this. Oh, right. Oh, this is annoying. So close all but this closes just in the scope of one group, but close all closes all irrespective of the group. So that's it's kind of inconsistent, I think. So this one uses frame equals false. So I will just make sure that this one does not. Oh, this is a sample control, so I'll just upgrade it to sample. So this is like this. I think that should be fine. Oh, IntelliSense is not working. Oh, it's working, but it does not. Oh, this means that there is. Let me switch to Skia. Yeah, that's good. All right, so now it works. So use this frame, false. And for, I can now switch back to the 50, which was the original value here. So no need to work around things. And now let's go to the build. And see which of the tests are failing so that we can disable them this way, disable the change this way, so that we don't have to change the samples themselves and keep them working without any changes needed. So one is elevated view dimensions validation. No, that's annoying. I don't see. Okay, so let's do it like this. I need to see which sample pages are these tests are actually using. So let's search for it here. So elevated view dimensions. So that's what I expected here. So I will go here. And in the sample I will use this frame false. The same thing for first selected prefer above. Yeah, so this is drop down placement. So use this frame. And this one is, I think this one is failing quite often, so it's not really caused by this specific change. So that's good. And there is also this when foreground is set on Android. So this one running inside of command bar native with foreground. So let's adjust this one so that it does not use frame. So this should be hopefully enough. I will push this. We'll see if that then passes the CI finally. Right, so let's commit, push it. All right, so that's this one. And alert it. So hopefully now this will be mergeable. So this is also PR that we started looking into in the last live coding session, but we didn't manage to finish up. And that's, I think it's not here. Oh, it's because I'm the assignee, not the author. Yeah, assignee. So it's one of the non-UI features. So Android calendar, that's the one. And I wanted to ensure it builds, of course, and the second to adjust the code a little bit to make it more readable before it's merged. So I will just discard the changes here and find calendar store. Yeah, So it was last edited 20th September, so quite a few weeks ago. So I will rebase on latest because we have some conflicts. So this is local change. We don't need that. So let's rebase. Oh, really? Okay. Now should be okay. Rebase. Right. Yes, we have merge conflict, but I think that the merge conflict is actually that there are new line endings. So this is kind of unmergeable. So I will just keep master version and just add the sample back manually. Again, master wins. And force push there. All right. Well, these are interesting. So we have to check why you're getting this warning. Well, warning, it's an error, compilation error. Right. Let's reopen Visual Studio. This time with Android target. Right. Android. Is this closing? It froze on me. So I'll just kill it with fire. Right. So Android. So next month on 1st December there is Advent of Code event, which is a great thing that's happening each year in December. It's kind of an advent calendar but for coding. So each day you get a kind of a coding puzzle that you need to solve and submit the solution for. And there are actually leaderboards, so the faster you find a solution, the better. And it's a great way to train your coding skills. It's really fun way to spend your time and improve your coding skills. So it's a kind of more theoretical coding, like I mean not theoretical, but kind of programming puzzles. Style, not like UI based coding challenges, but really coding challenges in terms of you have to figure out the solution and make it as efficient as possible, because in many cases inefficient solution would not even run in time. So you have to find a really proper solution to each of the problems, and it's very fun. So I will be partaking in this year as well, and maybe I will be doing live coding sessions where I will be solving those problems live. That would be fun. Although it always starts at midnight, so it would be midnight EST. Let's see what's the time in my country. So it's 6 a.m. Well, I could be waking up at 6 a.m. I guess. But we'll see. Well, like in the first several days are usually quite simple puzzles, but the later challenges are really challenging, and it takes sometimes hours or sometimes days for me to resolve those challenges. So, well, luckily, last year I managed to solve all the puzzles, but you know, some were really challenging and took me several days to figure out the solution. So, but it's fun. So, definitely recommend you to try it out. All right, so we have this. I will just rebuild the sample set while we're working on this. And let's see. So there is a package manifest, changes which we are okay with. Oh. Let's see the sample. The force push went through or didn't it? Yeah, so 2 months ago, so it didn't go through. Let's see if now it works. Yes, so now we should be seeing the latest version. And indeed we are. So let's see the changes. So now we have, we're missing the sample in the UI tests application, so we will have to edit manually here. So here we have, what is this? UI test shared, there is project items. And the recent versions of Visual Studio are buggy, unfortunately. So adding the file through Visual Studio directly fails, which is super annoying. So now I have to do it like this in Visual Studio Code. It's been reported, but so far they didn't manage to fix it yet. So we have this. So you have to manually do things like this, like in the old days, I would guess. So let's see, appointment store tests. Search for this. Appointment store tests. Okay. So this adds the missing file. So yeah, this is what we needed. So let's close this one. The sample itself is just a sample page, so I don't really need to focus on that too much. I'm rather interested more in these files here. So the appointment class has been added and is available on Android only or everywhere? It seems that everywhere, which is, well, the class itself does not do anything, so it's fine to have it everywhere. Yeah, reload. We have some errors that caused the compilation to fail completely. Let's see where. Here. Appointment store lacks as a weight, which is kind of true.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet. It looks like an issue with the router and Echo device, so try restarting them. Unplug both of them, then plug the router back in.
Result.
Wait 30 seconds. Once the router router is back on and connected to the internet. Plug in the Echo device.
Oh god. What are you talking about? So this should return a task appointment. Oh, right. So it should be like this, I guess. I'll need to explicitly specify that this is a read-only list, so like this. So we cannot implicitly convert. Yeah. So this is as read-only. Yeah. Well, it's not working. So okay. So it was just a temporary IntelliSense failure. So like this, and finally here. Entries list. Okay, so this fixes the compilation error here. So let's rebuild. And let's look at the appointment class. So in the generated files, we should see that. So the whole class. Oh, I see. So some properties are, some are not implemented. I think there was a problem with the reminder. Yeah, I see. So I'll just need to go through this file and see which of the properties are implemented and which are not. It's kind of important to fold them out. So all day. Okay, so this is skipped. All day calendar ID. And ID, details. Details. Duration, local ID, yes, location, organizer, start time. Oh, another one. So this method returns a task but does not do anything async, so return task, completed task. That's good. So subject. Okay, so the only thing that's missing is the only thing that's problematic here is the range reminder. No, come on. Ignore this. So there's reminder here somewhere. Or is it not? Oh, it's not here. It's interesting. I thought it was complaining about it. But it's being used, so I need to really move this into this file. So this will be falsed out. And reminder. Mm-hmm. Okay, so this property is now there. And what is it complaining now about? Okay, another async method without... Oh, this is the same one. So what are you complaining about? Let's build again. So this one is okay, I guess. So this one is the one that handles permissions and so on. We have refactored that last time. Appointment organizer is just POCO class, nothing interesting there. Appointment properties. We have adjusted that last time. That's yeah. Just getting the properties from for appointment. That's the one that was being complained about. So let's see, appointment properties. There's a reminder, but there is also a reminder in the other class. So appointment properties. Okay, so appointment appointment properties. So in this file, we should find that reminder is not there. Reminder. Okay, so I just disabled it on Android, but it should be disabled everywhere because this the properties are the same everywhere. There's nothing special about them for specific platforms. So this is all good. Okay, let's save it. And let's continue on this. So this one is now fine. And appointment store Android. This one is the one that was a little bit hard to read. So we'll see if we can refactor it a little bit. Appointment store access type is just enum. There we have this file. This is just options class basically. Appointment participant, nothing too special. And this one, well, this is an actual useful change because there is, well, we can keep it. We can keep it there. So let's see, appointment store Android. That's the one that's most problematic. Let's close this, and there's a very useful feature of the tab layout here that you can colorize them by extension or project. I will just use project because it makes it clear when you're in a different project so that you don't actually accidentally edit something that you didn't want to. So now it's colorized nicely. And it can be grouped by project, or it can be sorted by alphabet or by recently opened. So that's quite useful. It's worth checking out this menu. You can also put the tabs on the top or on the right, so it really allows you to customize the layout of Visual Studio as you see fit. Okay, so let's jump right into this one. So let's go first by things that we have here. So these are the fields. This seems pretty okay. Then the find appointment async and this task. So this is the main method here that handles most of the logic. So it starts with some validations. Here we have some exception that's thrown, but no reference exception is nothing that should be thrown. So invalid operation is more meaningful. Android client. Right. So this one, similar adjustment here. Format, okay. So this doesn't make sense. The builder cannot be null now. So let's remove this actually. So basically, this should be extractable as a separate method because it builds a query URI that's then used to. Okay, so it can be null. So this is the problem. So if right is null, throw new invalid exception. Contact okay, so this ensures that the URI is not null. Let's make this is null. It's a bit nicer. So I guess this whole thing could be extracted as a method, and maybe also these. Okay, so I'll just put the comment above it so it fits. So sorting. Okay, so this whole thing is essentially the querying part. So I will take it out of here and create it as a separate method. So like this. So like this should be fine, and we'll just need these parameters from here. So these ones. Create context cursor. Okay, so this will create the cursor that will go through the contacts. So I will create it here. So using var cursor like this. Some verification here that checks if the cursor actually exists, if there are some entries. And now these are the columns. So you get the indices and then read them. So this is the actually reading part from the cursor. So this is, we like to avoid rereading this multiple times. So this goes through the pages themselves. Okay, so and this constructs the individual appointments. What is this? Content resolver. So content resolver we have here. So this is something that we need in the upper method as well. Yeah, okay. Can move it here. And in here it's now missing, so we can provide it to there. Using, and then we will use the content resolver. IntelliSense is very slow here, so I will just Android content resolver. Okay, let's wrap it to multiple lines. Okay, so this is now fine, and we can continue here. So this is the actual reading of individual entries. So let's see, read appointments. We can remove this. We can remove this as a parameter and just do it like this. Just reordering the parameters a little bit so it's more readable. So the options go in the last place. The cursor is from the place where we are the source of the reading, so that goes first. And the resolver appointment options. So like this, it should be quite easy to read. And we just need to create the list. So list of appointment results, appointment, and we will return it. Appointment. Okay, so all the results will go here, add it here, and return results. Oh, this is an actual non-null cursor. And there we have our empty appointment. Oh, this is results. Okay. So this should be much more readable now. just adjustments to nullability, and we should be good to go. Okay. So now that we have it, we can close the solution. Just let me turn off the Roslyn source generators and rerun this in on Android and test it on an actual device. Okay, so now that this is running, let's wait for this to load the device and we'll deploy it and we'll see what happens. In any case, let's push our changes. So it's gonna be a factor appointment store Android and push the changes. With that, we should be able to make this. This should be now mergeable, hopefully. This is resolved. We'll see what happens. Okay, so this is now running. Okay. Surface Duo and launch. So while this is building, let's switch to the next thing I have planned. So recently we published the last application from the Playing with Physics series, which is a series of applications that helps high school teachers to teach physics, various physics phenomena, and it consists of 17 applications, each showing in a more playful and more fun way how that phenomena specifically occurs and what it does and how it behaves. So there are 17 different applications, all of them UWP applications, and they are actually already used in some schools to teach physics. And the goal of the goal that I have is to try out if we can take these applications and bring them, at least in some way, to UNO platform and showcase or even publish these applications on Android, iOS, on WebAssembly, and so on. So I will just create a branch called dev UNO platform, which will be home of those efforts. And the solution itself is quite huge, so it's gonna be probably quite a challenge to get this working. So it will probably happen over several different sessions, but we can get started at least. So basically what the layout of the solution is as such that we have a self-study solution which displays some kind of study text that the students can read themselves and learn from. There are shared projects which contain some shared logic and some shared UI. And finally, there are the applications themselves. Each has like a UI project containing the application and XAML files and so on. And then there's the logic project, which is kind of a UI agnostic file project that contains some physics calculations and so on. And from those applications, some are more complex, some are less complex. And I was thinking that this Lissajous curves project will be the easiest starting point for the UNO platform rewrite. So I will do it as such. Let's see. Let's do it like this. I will create a UNO platform folder here. And a separate solution because this one is already big enough. So I will create a separate one, which will be UNO platform. Or actually, let's do it a different way. Let's do WT. How's the build going so far? So good. So yeah, I will do .NET new Solana name. Oh, it's not dash new. It's actually just .NET new Solana playing with physics UNO platform. So this should create a blank solution, which I will open and start working on this. So I'll put there the shared folder, which will contain the shared projects, and also the topics folder, which will contain the individual topics. So here I will create and add an existing project, and let's see, playing physics, source, shared logic. So this one is just a .NET standard project, I think. So there shouldn't be any problem including it. So this is a problematic thing because the current solution depends on MVN Cross, which is not yet supported in UNO platform. So I will just have to do without it somehow. So let me build this. What is using MVN Cross here? So it was just unnecessary. Seems that it was just unnecessary reference. So this is good. So this seems very fine. And it seems that this solution, this project is fine without MVN Cross. This one, however, is a UI shared code, and that one is definitely depends on MVN Cross. So this one will be more interesting. Actually, it's a universal Windows project. So I will probably create a new project instead and create a UNO platform library somewhere in WP. And this one will be source shared physics shared UI. Uno UI. Or I guess I'm not sure if I need this. Well, let's see. Let's create this like this, and we will then nudge this library to be a Uno platform library instead. So okay, there's a lot of things. The most important things are the package references. So I will take these here. Some of them are not compatible with Uno because they are, you know, really UWP specific. I will have to take those out. But let's see. Let me just copy this whole thing and replace this. Oh, that's not the whole thing. What? Didn't copy the whole thing. Let me copy once more and reload. So this project is a Uno platform shared project, but it will not compile because it depends on some things that we don't want here. So ambient cross we have to get rid of. We need to get rid of this one, and the toolkit data grid will have to adjust because there is also a version of that for Uno platform. This one has to go. XAML flare, I think definitely. The Win2D is not supported in Uno because it's just a different framework. And reactive UI, I'm not sure if it's actually used, so oh, let's build this. We'll see what are the errors that we have. It's weird. Okay, let's remove this. Remove this. And what we can do to keep things simple is that we will, for now, remove most of the code by excluding it from the project. So now we will be able to soon build it, and then we'll be starting re-adding files as needed. Okay, so remove this and this one. This file is not there actually, so let's clean it fully and reload. So less errors now. This assembly info, there are some duplicates, I guess. I guess we can remove this. Let's build. And it builds now. Okay. So SkiaSharp views is not happy, but we can remove it for now too. And well, let's do it even more drastically and remove reactive UI, which is, I think, not used. And if it's used, then we will adjust it as needed. But for now, let's do it like this. Okay, so now we have just one more warning here. There's the Xamarin Mac, which is not really actual error. So that's good. Now let's re-add some things. So let's see what could be easy. So helpers. Okay, so helpers should be easy. So there's number box helpers. So it's just some adjustments to number boxes. Let's improve it while we're at it. So I will switch to lang version of 10 and enable nullables. And so number box couldn't be found. Oh, value type cannot be in that standard. What is this? Doesn't make any sense. So Microsoft UI XAML controls. Oh, right. We probably removed the Uno UI references. Ah, right. This is important. But is there? So what you're complaining about? Oh, this is odd. So this one builds normally, that's fine. And now this, so shared UI. Okay. So why shouldn't it be, shouldn't it exist if .NET Standard is there? Huh. That's pretty weird, if you ask me. Let's see what happens here. This build, we have an error. Huh, okay. Some XAML file error. No, that's an odd one. Let's try and rebuild completely. Maybe it's gonna help. And what is happening here? So number box is, it's complaining about number box. Right. Because we are using Microsoft UI XAML controls in UWP version, which is not supported because we didn't reference it for UWP specifically. So we will need, in fact, this is something we should probably add into the Uno platform default template for library because it means that you will not be able to use Microsoft UI controls in a UI library unless you specifically reference it. this might be more like it. And this package items group should be referenced only if in case the target framework equals, and now how it's written, right, this should be like this, equals UAP 10.0.183.62. So this might be it. And yeah, the version of Microsoft UI example controls should be inside of the somewhere here. Build targets, I guess. Yeah, it's actually Microsoft UI example, not controls. Right. Makes sense. Right, so this is a very useful thing that we should definitely add. So let's see, what is still complaining? Now it should be fine. Loading fine. Oh, okay. So we're building against any CPU which is not supported. But that is fine. I'm more concerned about the... Okay, so let's unload and reload, maybe it's gonna help. Yes, so still a warning there. Not sure why this is showing up, but I guess it doesn't really matter in this case. Not really a problem. So okay. Let's unload, reload. We're all good. Okay. So this is fine because we're not really will not be really building for any CPU on Windows. We will be using one of those specific platforms, so it's fine. But this one is more concerning because this is showing up for some reason when we were building the Windows version, I guess. Let's see, if I remove Windows and build it. So it's still complaining, so it's .NET Standard or... Oh, Xamarin Mac 2. Interesting. Okay, so let's just skip Xamarin Mac for now because it's not really working in this version of Visual Studio properly. So when we want to add support for it, we will add it later. So now we should be able to successfully compile at least basic in a basic way. What is this? Why is it failing? Why is it failing? It just immediately fails? But why? Okay, so this should be... If I remove this, then it will not fail. Well, maybe that's the case. So specific target platform. I guess so. So for now, let's keep this away as well. We'll return it right after. And let's push these changes for now so that we have the basic things there. So that's the start of this project. And let me just check this error that's showing up for Android build of the contact store. So it's trying to read some file, some XAML file. It's failing, and it doesn't really tell me which file. Makes it a little bit tricky to fix this. XAML. Not really, no really real information for me. Maybe no, it's just this will be hard to debug, I guess. Well, the only XAML files that we added were the appointment store files. Appointment model, our application model, appointments include. Me jump away for a second. Okay, so Alright, I'm back. So, we have some problem here with, I guess, this sample. But it's odd because it doesn't really report any specific file for the problem. We should look into that definitely. Let me close this. Reopen. So, okay, maybe this could work. Well, we should. The solution here would be to include UWP conditionally only for specific platform. So this, I guess, could be it. So if the platform is not any CPU, then we include UWP like this. This should help. What? What are you complaining about? I don't get it. There should be a way to do it like this somehow. Let's see. I think Uno UI is doing it. It seems fine. So what is your problem? Okay, let's do it like this. That makes it more simple. If the target is any CPU, will you include all of them? Will include only non-Windows, and if the target is any CPU, it will exclude UWP. And this is now I'm complaining about what? Okay. It's weird. Right, because we don't have the architecture there at all. So I will add a Uno Platform application. Put it here. Uno Platform topics, maybe that's a better name. And I will call it Lysage's curves. Because this should generate the architecture targets for each of the projects. Okay, so we have the solution now, Lysage's curves UWP, and now if we go here, should have all the different platforms defined. And so for x86 we will, oh, okay, new platform is x86 from what if I want to build it for interesting, when I do ARM64, can I add, interesting, why I cannot add x6 ARM64 here? It's unpleasant. Okay. Well, we will have to work around this somehow. I'm not really sure how yet, but we'll have to work around it because this would be quite a problematic error. So if there is no way to build this in a way that's specific for UWP, we'll have to have separate projects. One would be UWP and one would be the other platforms. Well, that wouldn't be ideal, but it would be a way to do it, I guess. So I will just let this we'll push this for now. And we'll continue on this next time. All right, let's push it. And now let's for this one. Let's see. Just try to run it again. Now it will do something different, but I'm guessing not. Oh, interesting. So we couldn't find this file. Okay. Couldn't find file dev uno source. You had this shared application model calls. Oh, I see. I put in the wrong path for the file, so that explains everything. So calls. It should be appointments. Why is it twice there? Oh. Why is it twice? Okay, one was edited manually, one was edited via the Visual Studio Editor. So it seems that now it can properly add items into approach items, which would be kind of cool if it was finally fixed. Let's see. Let's run it. So because the time is nearly up, I will just test this, and this will be probably the final thing that I will be showing today. But my goal for the next live coding sessions will be to finish up some more PRs, and also there is something that I have put off for quite a long time, and that's upgrading the calculator application, because we currently have the calculator application based on a very old version of the Microsoft calculator. Specifically, it's the version of Windows 10 calculator, which is not only outdated in terms of UI but also in terms of features. So I would like to take the latest source code from Microsoft and kind of bring it into the UNO Platform calculator by updating what we have already and adjusting the styles, and also bringing the new features like the graphing calculator and also the currency converter and so on. So it would be nice to have this. It's something that will be a bigger kind of epic task, but over several live coding sessions it could be done, and it could make the UNO Platform calculator much more capable and much more useful. So I think it's definitely worth trying it out. Let's see, just UNO Platform. Let's push this here. I'll push it into there, and let's relaunch the solution and try to build it. Anyway, so for now let's do this simply like this, disabling the UWP target. And let's see what we can do, at least in terms of building this. So why is it complaining now? That is new. Oh, okay. Like this. Now we should be good. Alright, so we need to clean the bin of files. Rebuild. Build now properly, and okay, so build succeeded now. So these two files are actually okay under UNO Platform. Let's see what we can also add here. So strings are just shared string files. You can add those. Let's see. Rendering is kind of problematic because we have some files using rendering on Skia Sharp and some are using Win2D, so we need to avoid those Win2D files. So let's skip that for now. This one is fine. This one could be fine. Yep. Oh, it's using MVX, so we'll have to adjust that. Simulation colors, gravity default. Yeah. This is okay. I exclude this one for now. Some of AVN cross here. So yeah, simulation colors uses NVM. Let's get rid of it. Okay, this builds now. So let's see something more. Extensions. This could be fine. Nothing invalid here. Okay, this is Skia Sharp specific. And Microsoft Toolkit. Okay, these are something. This is something that we can keep for next time, because we don't need to add the Uno platform specific Skia Sharp packages and also the Uno platform specific Toolkit packages. So that will be quite fun, but should be quite easy to fix. So just commit this for now and push it. Alright, the appointments store is now finally deploying to the phone, so I will just wait for it to finish. Alright, this is passing now. We're trying to resolve the WinUI controls leaking memory, and in some cases this is really happening. So I have these 4 to fix up. Hopefully nothing too major, but it needs to be done so that we don't have any memory leaks introduced into applications. Right, so the application is launching now finally. Let's see. Okay, so let's see it. And we'll open the emulator here so you can see it. So I have it open on my phone, and now you can see that if I click on get appointments, it gives me the list of appointments in my calendar, and refresh happens again. So this seems to work properly, getting the reminder and durations. So this is pretty cool, and I think that's what all we needed. So let me stop this for now and do one more change there, because I noticed the sample is not in the right folder or in the right category of the sample application. So like this, it should be nicer. So this is the one. This one is the one that you need, and change sample category. Okay, push it, and we are done here. So hopefully this PR will be merged anytime soon, and we'll have another WinUI non-UI feature in Uno Platform. Appointments. So now I can do auto merge and approve it, which should be all that's needed. All right. Okay, so we finished another PR now. So that's good. And with that, I think this is the end of this live coding session. I will be doing another one hopefully soon, hopefully sooner than from last time. So I will see you there, and we will be continuing on the physics applications and maybe start on the Uno Platform calculator application, upgrading to the latest. So thank you for joining me, and see you next time.